Saturday morning cartoons was a phenomenon when, as a kid in the 80s and 90s, and I'll even throw in the 2000s, it was Saturday. You would forget your homework, and you would just go in front of the TV and watch whatever you wanted. For my generation, it was Pokemon. For some other generations, it was DuckTales. Woo! Others, ones that truly transcended time, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And lo and behold, in the 90s, there was a trilogy of live action movies. Uh, First one is Secret of the Ooze, and then number 3. This is the first one that is from 1990, obviously, which is pretty much just a live which is just a live action adaptation of the cartoon and the comic. And I'm doing this one as a request for S, and I hope that I like this one. It's exactly what you get. Four teenage mutant, Ninja Turtles who are learning the art of ninjutsu, who are learning ninjutsu and having to stop people, a clan known as the Foot. And it's, like I said, a Saturday morning cartoon in live action, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This appeals to a certain generation. I will admit the animatronics are impressive. It is impressive to see these 6 foot, what was that, roughly 5 to 6 foot tall costumes, and of course the actors inside them have gone on to fame and appearing at conventions. And I'm thinking, okay, I like this. This is pretty cool. Yeah, it's very dark though. I know it was meant to be dingy because we're in the sewers, and this is kind of a little bit more real and gritty and a little bit more violent, reminiscent of the comics, which I liked. Yeah. So obviously, there's a rat known as Master Splinter who was living in Japan and had he was a pet of a Master Yoshi. I forgot the last name. Where he got into an argument where the Master Yoshi and another person got into, they were like masters of karate and arts and stuff like that. But lo and behold, they felt affections for a woman. They both got into an argument, so then Shredder, who got upset, killed Yoshi and maimed the rat, but the rat somehow traveled from Japan to the States. I think Yoshi and the rat moved there. Anyway, he got mutated via ooze and also found 4 turtles and raised them to become very adept at martial arts. And then obviously with the Foot Clan, this is where Shredder is just pretty much absconding a whole bunch of stuff, car stereos, wallets, whatever, any wave of crime. And April O'Neil is on the scene to try and put together what could be happening. It is called, what was that called? The Silent Crime Wave, according to it. So yeah, there's enough here to go on, for which it makes it for a fine, I guess you could say fine, series going on. I'm like, okay, I'm digging where this is going. Obviously, it's not going to win any awards of the year, but you know what? The plot, for what it is, maybe it is kind of more reminiscent. It's, I guess you could say it's a more kid-friendly version of all the drug trafficking. Maybe, I could be wrong, of everything that was going on in New York in the 1980s and 90s, which was, I'd say that's a fair assessment, or just some of the crime that happens in New York. Yeah. I guess one of the major complaints I had was that everything was just so dark. I mean, it's just like, I know it's meant to be gritty and real for Gen X and some millennials, but it was just so dark. I could barely see anything in there. Yeah. I'm just looking, like, could we have gotten some better lighting, please? Each of the turtles have their own personality, but here it all felt like that they kind of blended together. Raphael Michelangelo, Donatello, and I'm sorry, I forgot the last one. It was Leonardo. Yeah, those names that have transcended popular culture, and it's rather than each of them having their own personality, all kind of just fit the motif of having cowabunga, and even one of them having having a Brooklyn accent, which I can understand, and it's fine for what it is. It's all right. Yeah, obviously, the combat is pretty good. Just with the 4 different weapons, the staff, the sai, the nunchucks, and I forgot the last one. It feels like each turtle gets at least a moment in the sun to stand out with their combat, especially with Raphael when he goes solo and gets absconded by a bunch of foot soldier Foot Clan members, which I kind of like, which was interesting to see him kick some butt. You got Casey Jones, where he's he's got the long hair. I don't know much about him in the comics or in the show, so I know he was introduced. He's kind of an ally to the Turtles, which was pretty cool. So he's got a fearsome mask, and he's got the hockey stick, long hair. If you've seen him, if you've seen the cartoon, you know who I'm talking about. So, I mean, it's pretty. It's like you can tell right here they're coming out of their shells or whatever. It's like here's number 2, number 3. Here's the TMNT from 2007, 2006, yeah, 2007, which was pretty cool. And you know what? I like this. It's an episode. It's obviously meant for kids, so it's going to have themes of like family and saying how all fathers care about their son and stuff like that, and how the clan easily gets taken down by 4 turtles. I mean, it's so absurd. It's good, and it holds a certain place in people's hearts. I myself don't know much about the TMNT. Mainly through James Rolfe, I understood more about the getting a history and retrospective. Jim Henson, of the Muppets, that lent out some suits and animatronics. He said that it was too violent or whatever for kids, but he did it as a favor to the director, Steve, whatever his last name is. So, and in order to capture the speech and make the turtles look more realistic, they filmed the sequences in 23 frames per second and dubbed their voices over for 24, which I found to be pretty cool. It's all right. I like some of the stuff going on here, and there's also three news reporters: April, May, and June. That's pretty funny. So, I also noticed saying, hey, this movie makes a little bit fun of the Japanese, and the Japan had like a massive economy at the time, a bubble economy, and they made one joke about Sony, and I'm like, that's barely anything. It's like, if anything, it's giving more influence to what led to the influence of the comics. And there's even a joke about Wheel of Fortune and Vanna White. It's like, who hates Vanna White? That was kind of funny. So I don't know. Ultimately, this is just a live action adaptation of the cartoons and the comics. You know exactly what you're getting. 4 mutant turtles that are able to come alive and perform martial arts and stop a villain known as Shredder. That's exactly what you're getting. So yeah, if you ever get the chance, watch the original TMNT from 1990.